Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my Twin Flame story week by week. I believe this is episode 22. I'm here with Grogu over my right shoulder, and I have my Grogu mug with ginger tea today. It's very hot. I tried to take a sip earlier. It's much too hot. So I will let that cool down for a little bit. But I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, please do subscribe below. Click on the bell scope to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. So in this vlog, I'm going to give you guys some updates of the channel, what's been going on with me in my Twin Flame story week by week. And I'm going to do a Q&A. I have questions. See? I've got your questions here from four of you guys that had questions. So I'm going to answer those questions on this vlog. And I figured that's something that I can actually do. So if you do have questions, do submit them in the chat or in the comments section, and I will try to get to your questions. I also posted something on the community page today. So if you are viewing this afterward, after I record the video, and you do have a question, just know that I will get to it at some point. Maybe not this week, but I will get to it at some point. So as for me, let's see. Well, first of all, channel news. Let's do channel news first. So I want you guys to look out for a new set of videos that I'm going to be doing starting, well, I'm going to start very slowly. So in June of 2022, we are in June. I'm recording this on June 7th, 2022, which I'm probably posting it today as well. But I am going to be doing astrology tarot. So horoscopes, astrology, tarot. And if your birthday is in the month of Cancer, meaning from, I believe officially it's June 22nd through July 22nd, but I've seen both dates. I've seen June 21st and June 22nd for Cancer. So whenever Cancer season starts, and if your birthday happens to be between those dates, between June 21st, and you consider yourself a Cancer, all the way through July 22nd, you consider yourself to be a Cancer and not a Leo, watch out. Next week, watch out for a very special video for you. And so I have some, additional changes upcoming to the channel, which will be new and exciting. And so just stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed and get those notifications. So if you have a birthday between those dates, initially, right? And that's just the beginning of what's to come. And that's a nice segue, actually, guys. That's a really nice segue to my Twin Flame story week by week. So last week I was out for the most of the week. I was out in Virginia because my youngest son, Xavier, graduated from high school. And that was a super exciting time for him. And not much going on as far as like inner twin flame work, outer twin flame work. However, when I returned from Virginia, and this is something that's been kind of ongoing in the background for me, I mentioned probably somewhere along the line that I have been studying astrology and working with a personal astrologer since January, reading more astrology books. I started diving really deep into astrology probably about a month ago, and the astrologer I'm working with works through, because there are different facets of astrology. So she is an evolutionary astrologer, and she forwarded to me the link of a video from the father of, if you will, if we were to call it that, right? The father of evolutionary astrology, and totally resonated with me right away. In fact, he has my birthday. We're born on the same day, not the same year. I think he's the same year as my mother, but born on the same day. And I thought, oh, this is fate. Not to mention that I loved hearing him speak, and I still love hearing him speak. There's just not a lot out there on video for him. So I'm going to be reading his books. But anyway, I digress, or that's, I guess, the word. the reason I'm telling you this is because last night when I was listening to one of his videos and I was kind of just going into this really like spiritual headspace, so kind of away from the mental logical headspace, but more into like the spiritual space, I got this like download that I haven't quite unpacked yet. And I do need to unpack it, meaning I need to have a conversation with angelic presence, with my angels, and get downloads and channelings from them to get a further explanation of what I received. And I will give you a teaser here. And in a video that's going to be posted on Wednesday, I also teased it a little bit just because I needed to kind of explain it before I did that topic video. So if you're viewing this on Tuesday, June 7th, make sure to check out the video on Wednesday, June 8th as well. It's a little complicated, but it's not complicated, if you will. So the download I received is that I spoke in 2020, early 2020, probably January 2020, and in some video, I can't remember the video, but I spoke about a channeled message I gotten from angelic presence about the Great Divide. And the angels were speaking about a division within the twin flame collective. And I didn't quite understand it at the time. I still don't quite understand it, but what I was understanding in that channeling was that some twin flames will come into union, some won't. Or some will like leave the journey, right? Some will elect not to do it. But I believe it's more complex than that, just based on the more recent information that I downloaded. And of course, Spirit's going to give you downloads of information when you're ready to receive them, and not before. Not before you're ready to receive them, but when you're ready to receive them, you will get that. And so this is just a furthering of that concept of the Great Divide. And I believe this will also help to explain why there's so much disparity among twin flames and just the information that is out there going, well, some twin flames will come into union, some won't. The journey's not about coming into union. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't, kind of thing. The download was that there are twin flames, and there's another thing called mirror twin soul. And a mirror twin soul is not necessarily a twin flame, but they are very related, if that makes sense at all. And I mean, I do have somewhat of an explanation of it, but I really, like I said, I really want to channel the information first before I give a full-on explanation of what it is. And like I said, there's a relation. There's definitely a relation between the two. So it's not like they're totally different things. There is definitely a relational quality to it. And I think the best way to give you a vocabulary word that would more closely resonate for you would be this concept of like false twin flame and twin flame, like that, like the relation between that, right? And I really believe that for me personally, again, I don't know, but for me personally, I believe that one of the reasons that the following that I have is a lot smaller than the general collective is because I believe that rather than being a twin flame full on, if you will, that my situation more falls into the category of mirror twin soul, which is a little bit different. And one is not better than the other. It's just different. The experiences will be a little bit different. The end result will be a little bit different. It'll all be just a slight bit different. And so again, and I don't know if that is for certain. That's just something I felt. And again, I didn't have the vocabulary word to actually say this. Now, that being said, when I did Google it, because I was like, okay, let me just see if this is out there. Because I received the word mirror twin soul, but I didn't know anything out there in Google land, in internet land. So I didn't know. So I actually Googled the term. And the term does exist, but most writers will write that twin flames and mirror souls are the exact same thing. There's absolutely no different. The words are interchangeable. And then there's one article I found that says they are different. Twin flames are different than mirror souls. They actually, like, I believe, called it mirror souls versus mirror twin souls. And the term that was given to me was like mirror twin souls, which is different than twin flames. Again, related, but different. It was just really interesting, this whole like journey into this definition of something slightly different. And it kind of threw me for a loop a little bit because I was like, what? Why didn't you guys say this before? That what was explained in that one article is that all twin flames are twin flames. And in order to be a mirror twin soul, you have to first be a twin flame. You can't just have the experience of mirror twin soul and not have gone through what twin flames go through. So again, like I said, direct relation, but not the same. So that was like the highlight of my week, and it just happened last night. So we'll see where that unfolds to and what it needs to go to. And what I thought about after that was that, I'm writing this book that's almost complete about twin flames, but it's just about the twin flame journey. And the big question mark in my mind was, oh my God, like with this new information, is that going to make the book something different than it already is? And the answer is actually no, because the book is about how to navigate through the twin flame journey successfully without too much like diversion from what you're supposed to be doing. And since mirror twin souls have to go through the process of twin flame first, then it would generally apply to both categories. So I guess the book does not have to change. I was just a little surprised. I was like, what? So interesting times, I should say. Interesting times. But so that's the new info. And again, it's not complete because I'm still learning and downloading, of course. I will need to sit and channel from angelic presence around me in a quiet space in a meditative state. And when I do that, guys, look out for a twin flame channeled message, which will be more in a podcast form, since I will do that audibly, right? In audio only and not visual, because it will be something like I will be reading from the channeled message, and that just doesn't look pretty on camera, right? So look out for that probably sometime next week. So with no further ado, let's go to your questions. I'm kind of excited to do this. Let's see here. Oh, I think I have 3 instead of 4. Why is this written twice? All right, well, one of the questions was written twice. All right, here we go. So Finding My Healing says, my twin died. Can you make a video about that? I wish I'd seen your video sooner. Include in video what to do if twin behaves like a karmic. Okay, so that's really 2 parts of the question, Finding My Healing. And in the video that I am posting for Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, please do view that video because I have a much longer explanation about what I'm about to say. The first half of that question is, if your twin flame dies before fulfillment of the soul contract that you and your twin flame have together, then in the next lifetime, you incarnate in 2 separate bodies and you will meet again in order to fulfill your soul contract. So there you go. That's how that works. If you have actually fulfilled your soul mission in this lifetime and spirit does not want you to incarnate in 2 separate bodies again, then you won't, and you'll be integrated as one. You also asked, what if a twin behaves like a karmic? I mean, that's a question that really I believe your intuition can guide you to, and here is why. Twin flames do have karma sometimes that when they have incarnated in separate bodies and they live in past lives, then they do have karma that sometimes they do need to work out. That could be part of your soul contract. But the second piece is like, if they're really behaving like a karmic partner, then they might actually be a karmic partner and not a twin flame. So, and that's when I said you have to actually move toward your intuition in order to properly answer that question. The bigger question is this person really my twin flame? Or is it a false twin flame? Or is it a karmic partner? And only you can answer that question. Now, I know you said your twin flame died, so you might not be able to answer that question in this lifetime. But, sometimes we can feel a very, very, very strong and magnetic connection to a karmic partner. And the reason why we feel a strong magnetic connection to a karmic partner is because there is karma to be worked out. So you had to come together somehow. I mean, there is a pull to come together to work out your karma. Ninad Popovic Berda says, is it true when the union is close that we constantly see the brands of cars they drive, come across their names, etc.? So I believe, Ninad, what you're asking about are signs, increasing signs when you get closer and closer to physical reunion. My answer for you is yes and no. I did always receive a ton of signs. So not necessarily names of brands of cars or whatever. Yes, I believe that for me personally, I'm trying to think of like when my twin and I saw each other in December for my birthday, that was totally happenstance. It was a run-in. We ran into each other literally in a very weird, obscure place that I had personally never been to. About 3 months before, I started seeing increasing signs of my twin flame. So I got his name all the time, his favorite football team all the time. His name would flash across the screen, both his first and last name, he has unusual first name, unusual last name. It would flash across like a TV screen or a billboard or a license plate or something like that constantly. His favorite football team would also like show up everywhere. And his favorite football team is not from the state where we live. So again, kind of bizarre. It was a weird happenstance thing. Then I had two different occasions. One where I was talking about reuniting with my twin flame, again, hoping, praying, spirit, willing, and saying this out loud to someone and having a person walk by with my twin flame's name on his t-shirt, right? It was just so weird. And then another thing that happened was a client of mine had a message from angelic presence saying that my twin flame was coming. And then we did indeed connect again, early December on my birthday. So yes, you will see increasing signs, whether it's your twin's name or a meaningful song or something, right? I believe that as physical reunion is coming close, it will be like a multitude of signs and not just one specific sign over and over again. In the past, when we were in separation, I would get one specific sign over and over again, notably his name or some other sign. And it didn't necessarily signify that we were going to see each other eminently. But when, in fact, we did meet, it was like a multitude of various signs were happening simultaneously. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Priyanka Shaimal says, does time move fast when you're in union, or do you recognize the outside world? Does time move fast when you're in union? Priyanka, time is very relative, right? Our perception of time is completely relative. So it's relative to the experience, right? Have you ever been waiting in line at the DMV, for example, and you might be waiting in line for 4 hours and it appears like you have been there for 3 days? And then have you ever been in like a concert of your favorite singer and it was 2 hours and it felt like it was 5 minutes? Like the concert was over like that. So perception of time is very different based on your experience. So it doesn't necessarily mean that time moves faster or slower. It's just relational to the experience at hand. So when you are with your twin flame, or when you are with a best friend, for example, being in the flow transcends space and time. So if you're spending like a few hours with your twin flame, it indeed may feel like it's 5 minutes, just because the experience of oneness, the experience of flow does transcend space time. And it can then appear that time is moving faster when in fact it's just moving the same pace it always has. Priyanka also asked, do you recognize the outside world? Yes. I think that people on a spiritual journey are under the illusion, the false illusion, that when you are living in spirit, when you are living from a spiritual perspective, and you've reached heightened states of consciousness, that you cease to experience the physical world in its nature, in its duality, and that's false. There's a Buddhist saying that says, before enlightenment, do dishes carry water. After enlightenment, no, I think it's chop wood, carry water. And after enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So it's not that you cease to exist on the physical plane. It's not that the entire world around you ceases to function and exist, or that you as a physical body ceases to function and exist. It's that you have a widened perspective as you are moving through this life. So it's not that your experience necessarily changes, it's your perspective of the experience changes. And that is enlightenment. That is enlightenment. It's like the perspective of your experience changes. And so when the Buddhists say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, and then after enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, it just means that you are still human. Even after enlightenment, you are still going to go through the human experience, but you're just doing it from a different perspective, a perspective of expanded awareness, if you will. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit that is the Q&A portion of the vlog. I'm not going to do it every single time, but from time to time I'll do your questions in the vlog, and I think that's useful because a lot of people have similar questions, right? So I hope you enjoyed my twin flame story week by week with my new experience that happened last night, and we'll see as this unfolds, obviously, right? So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp or meditation course. You can also join my group coaching. The link is below. And I will see you in the next video.